A criminal defendant was sentenced and the department obtained 2 additional guilty pleas in matters totaling over $500 million in healthcare and COVID fraud. If you think about that, just since yesterday, we had a guilty plea in a $160 million healthcare enrollment fraud scheme and a sentencing in a $100 million COVID-19 fraud and a guilty plea in a $160 million healthcare fraud scheme as well. Each of these cases represents countless hours of dedication from the prosecutors and the federal agents and local law enforcement who work them. The Department of Justice is holding criminals accountable for stealing over $500 million from taxpayers. And across our U.S. attorney's offices all over this country, we currently have over 8,000 fraud matters underway. These cases represent a fraction of the fraud ripping off our country every day.
Welcome back. That big news today. That was acting U.S. Attorney General Todd Blanche at his press conference today. The Justice Department probes, they got a staggering 8,000 U.S. fraud investigations now launched. He's saying it's a fraction of the fraud ripping off America every day. He also said the media was silent as the Biden White House politically weaponized the Justice Department when all this fraud was going on. Let's bring in California GOP gubernatorial candidate Steve Hilton. Steve, you're leading in the polls. The president just endorsed you. It's great to see you, Steve. What's your reaction to that? Because California is now ground zero for U.S. fraud probes. What's with Democrats being asleep at the switch in D.C.?
Well, because fraud is actually part of their business model. When you look at where the money's gone, our money, our tax money that was supposed to be spent on things that they claim are going to be, whether that's education or infrastructure or dealing with homelessness, all these different things, healthcare, that people would agree we need. Instead, it's been siphoned off to nonprofits and activist groups and the unions and all these people who are part of and organizations that are part of the Democrat machine. That's what we've been uncovering here in California. My effort on this, Cal Doge, we've now published 4 fraud reports, and 3 out of the 4 have all been examples of taxpayer money financing things like Democrat voter registration and activism. So, of course, the Democrats don't want to find and stop the fraud because they're the ones profiting from it.
Yeah, it's quite a story. It's so massive. It's like, it's so big. The media can't get their arms around it. But we want to move on to this. Let's get your reaction to Democrat activist and attorney. Her name is Cheyenne Hunt. She says multiple women are now preparing to accuse your rival in the race to be California governor, far-left Democrat Eric Swalwell. He's getting accused of sexual harassment and sexual misconduct. No word or statement yet from Swalwell on this. Watchers say who he's been targeting. Listen to this.
I am personally working with a group of women who want to come forward and share their stories. I am also aware of a much larger group that is also in this process that I am not personally working with. We have secured pro bono legal representation for them, and they are in the process of sharing their information with major outlets while ensuring that their legal and physical safety is protected. That process takes time, but the number of credible women who have come forward since I posted my first video is really shocking, and all of them moving forward together has greatly expedited the timeline of this whole process. But the first person who approached me with their story was a close personal friend of mine. Then, once I started digging into it and I found that there were a number of other women whose stories matched the same pattern of manipulation and abuse of power, I knew that I couldn't stay silent because these women needed to know that if they came forward, there was a group of people that would have their back. Many of these women have remained silent for so long because they believed that they were alone and that if they came forward, it would ruin their careers. It appears that others may have stayed silent because of a belief that non-disclosure agreements required them to keep this secret.
So she's saying congressional employees, interns, that Swalwell got them to sign non-disclosure agreements. Steve, we got to point out, Cheyenne Hunt is an attorney. She said she's well aware of the risks here, that if she were to lie about a powerful public figure, she would be subject to defamation lawsuits. But she says she knows that Swalwell's team is aware of what she is alleging, and she has not been served with any legal paperwork from Swalwell, like a cease and desist. Put this all together, what do you think?
Well, first of all, let's just point out that this guy, Eric Swalwell, I mean, it's just the scandals keep on coming. It wasn't long ago that we were talking about the fact he doesn't live in California and where's his house and where's he registered and where's he claiming mortgage and all, and then one thing after another. Never mind, fang. But this is really serious. It's the talk of Sacramento. And if any of this turns out to be true, it will doom his campaign. You can't persist in this race. He should drop out if this is true. We'll have to wait and see. But everyone here is expecting a big story on this very soon.
Got it. We will be monitoring this information and story. Thank you so much, Steve Hilton. It's good to see you again.